everyone, welcome to episode 16 of the Art of Radiating Love. So, for today's episode, it's going to be something a little bit different, something that I don't normally talk about. Well, I feel like for all of the episodes I've ever made, they are not really the things that I keep repeatedly mention, but the previous episodes, they are more like um, reasons behind things, like how do you do this, how do you do that. But for this week's episode, I figured that I should do something a little bit different. It's actually inspired from my first ever solo trip. So I believe in my previous podcast episodes, I did mention here and there about me going on my first solo trip and the days leading up to that event, how excited I was, how scared I was, like what I planned, what I wanted to do. So this episode is going to be about lessons from my first ever solo travel experience. Honestly, to be able to say that I have traveled solo on myself and to be able to say that I have the experience, it just feels so surreal. Before I dive right into the podcast episode, I'll just talk about my life updates, but I do feel like these life updates, they are related to the podcast episode itself. So life update, I recently went on my first ever life-changing solo trip to KL, which is the capital city of my country. Now, I have been to KL several times for work with my friends and such, but this time is the first ever time I've traveled there on my own, and just overall, it's my first time traveling on my own. Okay, and I feel really, really fulfilled, really proud of myself to do what I said I was going to do when I was going to do it. So last year, I told myself that, well, actually, all this time I have wanted to try solo traveling, but I've never really done it just because I don't have the resources, I don't have the confidence to do it, and I didn't think that I would be able to do it. But I made it a goal upon myself. I put it onto my vision board. I made a promise to myself that no matter what happens, I'm going to make it work. I am going to make it work if I put my mind to it. Yes. So after all the self-love, self-development journey I've been on, the healing and everything, I wanted to prove to myself that I am capable of traveling by myself. So that's what I did. Okay, so before I head on to the lessons and such, I'll just talk about what I have been up to recently. So 2 days after I came back from my solo trip, I actually went for a dental appointment. I went for a dental appointment. My teeth actually hurts for 1 or 2 days after, but right now I feel like I'm quite okay already. And then I spent time with my parents. After that, we went for lunch. I updated my parents about my trip. They were really excited, really happy for me, really proud of me, I would say, for doing something that I'm scared of but excited of. And so recently I've also been reading a new self-development book that talks a lot about self-love. Then after that, I catch up on my creative passions, I catch up on my work, and right now I'm just relaxing a little bit before the start of a new semester next month. So I do have some time in my hands to just really focus on what I should be focusing on, like my work. I love the work I do, my creative passions, and the day I came back, I took like a 4-hour nap. Yeah. And then just having a great time at home. It's just so great to come back home, like I have been on my own for a whole week, and then now that I get to come home, I get to laugh so much. I realize that the people I truly love, they are really back home. They are home, and the fact that I'm back home, it just feels so nice to be able to be surrounded with the people I love. Being able to laugh with others again. So it's really nice, really nice. Not to say that I did not laugh with my friends or with people while I was on my solo trip, but it's nice to be back with my family, the familiarity. Yeah. So what I'm reading, I feel like I have been quite behind on my reading game. I did not actually read much, but there are books that I'm pending to read. Some books I started, but I did not actually finish. So, early on this month, I actually finished the book Slave to Sensation by Nalini Singh. It was quite a great book. I heard a lot of good things about it. That's why I picked it up. Well, personally, for me, it was okay. It was okay. I gave it like 4 out of 5 stars. I don't know why. I feel like there's something missing from the book, but yeah. I feel like I will read the second book, but we'll see, but probably not so soon, but I will read the second book. Then I read Assistant to the Villain. Apparently, this is like a really trendy book these days, like everyone in the fantasy, like the romantasy world have been talking about it. I really want to like the book. I'm not sure, is it because of the time, the restrictive time, or is it because I don't like it, that's why I rushed through it. But I feel like the part where I rushed through the book played like a huge part of me on why I do not like the book, I guess. But yeah, I wouldn't say I did not like it. It was okay. I gave it like 3.75 stars. But honestly, anything that is less than a 4 rating to me is just meh. But yeah, a book is a book. You won't always like the book you read, so it is what it is. Then I actually started reading 0 to 1 from August 13. Like until now, I haven't been reading it. I think I paused and chuck it aside for a bit, and then I stopped reading it. I haven't picked it up ever since then. Then I've been reading Binding 13. It's actually part of the Boys of Tommen series. I heard a lot of good things about it. And the first book was it was okay. I wouldn't say like it got me like really excited, really enthusiastic for it. I mean, at first, prior to reading it, I was really excited just because I feel like this book is going to give me the, oh my gosh, I love this book so much, like I can't stop reading it, oh my gosh. But it did not exactly give me that feeling. I guess it's because I read a lot of books, right? And then my standards with books just got higher and higher. So yeah. And then I have been reading The Alter Ego. Not much progress. I have just read like the first chapter, I think, but so far it's good. It's good. And right now, the book that I haven't been stopped reading, the book that I have been binge reading is called Buy Yourself the Damn Flowers by Tom Carr. Oh my gosh, like she is actually a very inspiring YouTuber, podcaster, person in general, author. I love all the lessons that she teaches me. Like a lot of things she teaches me, I implement it into my life, and I feel like she did play like a huge role in helping me like shape my shape my mindset and such. But yeah, I'm really grateful for her content, and she really does impact women around the world. So yeah, that's what I'm reading. I'm almost finished with her book. I think I'm like 80% in, and I can't wait to finish the book. And at the same time, I really feel like rereading the book just because there's so many lessons I wish my younger self has known. But there's never really a too late for something. I don't think that I will ever be late for something. This book came to me at the right time, and it's also her first ever release. It released like this week, like a few days ago. So yeah, I'm really grateful that she wrote this book. I have learned so much from it in just like one reading. So yeah, things I'm loving lately. I have been really loving Instagram filters. I have been using them to take videos, just to like document my trip and my life. Things I'm loving, new friendships, friends that I made during the trip. Honestly, I did not expect to make friends during the trip just because I feel like I thought I would just be on my own. I won't talk to people, but solo trips just surprises you. Like what my friend said, she said that when I'm on my own, I'm going to surprise myself a lot, like especially because this is a solo travel. I'm mostly on my own, and every day is a surprise. And what she said really resonates. It's really true. I did not expect to make friendships, talk to people, but the new friends I've made unexpectedly, and I just really appreciate it. Then things I'm loving, the books I've bought. I actually went to Kinokuniya, and then I bought Bride by Ailey Hazelwood, and I actually bought Like Lark from Alex Astor. The books are looking really good on my shelf right now. Yeah, things I'm loving, my post-solo trip, finally being back home, and I felt like in this trip alone, I've learned so many lessons, and I've learned so much about myself, and I just love the things that I have learned from it. And then being able to be back home with my loved ones, and things I'm loving, fruits. Oh my gosh, I have been fruitless for such a long time during the trip. Now I tried looking for fruits while I was at the while I was at the grocers. Like when you go into a mall, there's a lot of markets inside. I tried looking for fruits. Because it was like a 5-day trip, so like on the third day, I realized I have been fruitless for 3 days, and I did not like that feeling at all. So I tried looking for fruits, and in the end, I did find like sliced papaya cubes and watermelon, thanks to this lovely cashier lady that pointed me the directions. I told her I am in dire need of fruit. Then she told me, girl, you need to get your fruits. Okay, I'm gonna show you where are you gonna get your fruits. So I got my fruits. When I got it, I went up to her and I told her I secured the goods. So yeah, it was quite nice, but oh my gosh, I don't like the fact that there's a but here. It's supposed to be a good time, right? Well, technically I did have a good time. I brought the fruits back to my Airbnb. I did not finish the entire thing. I feel like they actually, right, when people sell fruits, they take the not so fresh ones to slice them and sell them. Just because you already sliced them, right? So you don't exactly know if the fruit is fresh or not. I hated the watermelons. They taste weird, and the papayas were like salty. I think they're supposed to be sweet, but it's a bit suspicious, the fact that it's salty. I suspected that it's not as fresh, so I was really bummed about it, but I did eat like half until I realized, oh, I feel like these are not fresh papayas. So the moment I landed back home, the next few days, I told my dad about the fruit situation, and then he went out and got me my favorite fruits like bananas, mangoes, and then he bought like this fruit called dara, and then he got me and then he got me like durians, and then I got to eat star fruits. I'm really grateful. The moment I came back to my hometown, I was bombarded and overwhelmed with fruits just because I told my dad about the whole fruit fiasco that happened during my solo travel. So yeah, I'm just really grateful for him, like really, really, really grateful for finally being back. Yeah. I feel like, yeah, I feel like when you want to solo travel, it's best to just buy the fruit as a whole and then just bring it back to your Airbnb and clean it and slice it on your own. But technically, I'm on my own, right? I can't finish all the fruits by myself, so yeah, it is what it is. It is an experience in itself. Now that I think about it, it's quite funny. And then what I'm grateful for, like I said, I'm grateful for my family, my solo trip, my newfound confidence that I have gained from that first ever solo trip experience. I'm also really grateful for my ability to fund my own trip. You know, the first time, because this is my first trip on my own, and the fact that I can say, oh, I funded the entire trip on my own, like all the penny came from my hard work. I get to do what I want with the money I earn through the love I give from my teaching. So it's really nice to be able to say that, and I'm really proud of myself for making this trip happen. And I'm really grateful for me for giving for giving myself the chance to do what I have always wanted to do. So this is something that I can take off in my bucket list now, but this is definitely not the last solo trip. I want to come back to this city again, and just because, you know, when I went on this solo trip, I actually thought that I would want to come back. I have always known I wanted to come back, but I never thought of coming back because of the people. I thought that, oh, I wanted to come back for the malls, for the things that I can buy, for the clothes, for the food, for the experience, for the first time experiences that I get to have, like all of that. But yeah, that is a reason, but right now the reason is because of people, the connections I've made while I was there, the people I get to meet, like everyone is just so nice. I can't stress this enough. Like, I felt welcome there, and I felt invited. I felt like I can have a home there if I want to, just because the people are so welcoming and it's so easy to connect with them. So I'm really, really grateful for that as well. And then, yeah, so I just feel really happy, really grateful for these recent things that I have made for it to happen. So yeah, so let's just head on into the podcast chapters. So here are some lessons from my first ever solo travel experience, and it's quite a lot, but yeah, let's head on and talk about the lessons. So first of all, every day is a surprise, so embrace it with open arms. Now, honestly, I have actually planned my itinerary, like I made it like very tightly packed until the part where I don't get to be spontaneous. Like every hour of the day has been planned. Like I must do this during these hours, I must do this after that, I must take the car at this time. But honestly, when you're on your own, every day is a surprise because you're really, really aware of your surroundings, because you don't have someone else with you. You're just on your own. So you are going to be prone to surprises just because you're really, really aware of yourself and you're surrounding the people around you at that time. So I understand that not everyone likes surprises, but in this case, this is surprise, but in a positive way. So, and it's also, and these are just the kind of surprises where it gives you like memories of a lifetime. At least that's for me. So when you go solo traveling, make sure to understand that you are going to have surprises, but I promise you they are mostly surprises in that are going to end up in positivity, packed with lessons. So make sure, if it's your first time solo traveling, make sure you embrace it with open arms, have an open mind, be welcomed with surprises. So it's going to happen, trust me. Now, because I'm a planner true and true, I'm not really a person who's very familiar with surprises. Like whatever I do, I plan it just so that I would expect what I plan to happen. But this trip has totally changed my outlook on spontaneity, in being spontaneous, in welcoming surprise. So right now, after this trip, I feel like I want more surprises for myself. Okay, other than that, here's another huge lesson that I've learned. It's that people want to help you more than you give them credit for. Now, here's the thing. Because this is a solo trip, so initially my mind was like, I'm going to be independent. No matter what happens, I have myself. So I also believe I have the confidence to do these things on my own. But it also comes with the surprise, right? So because there are the surprise elements to it, okay, you are going to have to ask for help because it's inevitable. You're on your own. And here's the thing, you can't fully do things by yourself. I mean, you can to a certain extent, okay, to a certain degree, but you are going to have to call for help just because you need it. Like, it's a survival instinct. It's only human nature. Like, we survive, like we have to have help. We have to be able to receive help from others, but to be able to receive that, you need to ask for it. So be very open-minded about getting help, because people really want to help you more than you give them credit for. Another lesson that I have learned is that I can truly do anything. Like, I can absolutely do anything, especially when I am all that I have at that time. It's not just because of the trip, not just for the trip, but anything. Like, the moment I came back to my hometown, I realized that, oh my gosh, I was traveling on my own. I was navigating places on my own, making things happen to me, like the things I did not think that I would do, the things that I felt like I wasn't brave enough to do, the things I did not have confidence in myself doing, I actually did them. Like, there's a solid proof to show that I can do this, right? So if I can travel on my own, it just means that I can absolutely do anything. It's not just the travel aspects, like when you're traveling, there were a lot of things I promised myself I will do just because I was scared of them. And now that I have done the thing, it made me realize how capable I am to do a lot of things. So yeah, trust that you can do absolutely anything. And then here's another huge lesson I have learned. Now, because I'm a person who plans a lot and I want everything to go to plan, when things don't go to plan, I become frustrated. So that's what happened during my trip when I was with my friends. Now, because we planned to come to a certain place, and then they did not want to go there just because of the time, understandably. So I understand why they feel like that. I understood it too, but because of me wanting to experience something and I want things to go as planned, okay, I'm not up for being spontaneous. So right now, now that I'm on a solo trip by myself, I finally understand that being spontaneous is what gives you memories of a lifetime. Make space for spontaneity and don't plan your itinerary so tightly packed to the brim. Really, this is a mistake I have made. So for my next solo trip, I finally understand that now. I feel like I have always known that it's not realistic, okay, to pack my itinerary to the brim. Like, it's not possible to do all of this. Girl, you need to factor in the traffic, the time, okay, unexpected circumstances that might happen, like the rain. Like, there were things that I did not get to do just because some of the things were more to like outdoor activities. There are things I did not get to do, but I embraced it, you know. A younger me would be very frustrated if I did not get to go to a certain place just because of the rain. But then again, I can't control the rain, right? There are so many things that are way beyond my control, so I can only do what I can do now. So although I did not get to go to a certain place, but I get to do something else with that time. I get to be spontaneous. It's the universe's way of testing me, right? So yeah, because of all these spontaneous things, I got to do other things, and at the same time I get to make memories, like so many memories. Like, honestly, now that I realize, right, the memories that are very, very vivid to me right now, and the memories that I really, really appreciate and so grateful they happen, is not really the ones that I planned, but rather the ones that came so spontaneously. Yeah. And then the next thing is, well, this fifth lesson is something that I did not think I would be able to do, just because I'm a person who is mostly on my own. When I'm back in my hometown, I'm mostly in my solitude. But be a conversationalist, okay? This is coming from someone who is, I guess I label myself an introvert, but I don't want to label myself as an introvert anymore just because it's very restrictive. The term is very restrictive. But yeah, I have always been known as the kind of person who doesn't really talk to people. I wouldn't like go up and make conversation. Like, I would just sit there on my own. Like, if I was in a bar, I would be that person who is gonna sit there and drink, okay, look at my phone. But I don't want to be that kind of person anymore. So that's why during this solo trip, I told myself I'm going to make conversation with people, and that's what I did. So I was a conversationalist, okay? I talked to people, okay? And this is something that I learned from Tamkar, okay, the YouTuber and the author that wrote by herself The Damn Flowers. Like, I'm so grateful for her, you know? So she said that when you talk to people, your only goal is to provide value in your conversation, and that is so true. So this is how I made friends and have come to know to people who align with me. You know, like, you truly attract the energy you give out. I never believed in this. I guess in a way I have believed this to be true, but because it has never happened to me, so I did not come to believe it truly until it happened to me now. So now that this thing happened to me, like, I got to attract people that I really want to be friends with. Okay, now that I tested out this theory and it's true, I really believe in this now. Like, you truly attract the energy you give out. I felt like if I did not make conversation, if I did not talk to people, I wouldn't have made friends, come to know to people who align to me. Like, that's something that I want to do more of right now. And the sixth lesson is that, okay, when you are raw, honest, and open with people, that's how people resonate with you. So, showing vulnerability is not a weakness. It's just you acknowledging that you are strong. Okay, vulnerability is so powerful because it's one of the many ways you can connect with others. I did not really get the chance to try this theory out. And now that I did that. Okay, I did that during the solo trip. I actually attended like a very intimidating event. There were so many professionals there, so many people who are so good at what they do. Okay, and I got to say the things that I wanted to say. I got to be open and honest about my feelings, and I feel like that is how people resonate. That is also the reason how I got to come to know to the people who are aligned with my values. So yeah, that's something that I'm going to do more of right now. And then the next thing is the seventh lesson. So this is something that I have come to realization. It's also related to the part where I say I actually can do anything. So I realize I really have so much potential than what I give myself credit for. I believe this is true for everyone. Okay? You really have to put yourself in situations where you are scared most, because that's how you prove to yourself that you can actually do that thing that you're so afraid of. I was genuinely so surprised at myself, like the fact that I am so capable of so many amazing things I never thought I would have been brave enough to do. Yeah, so the fact that I got to do what I was scared of doing, that alone surprised me so much, and I learned so many lessons from it. Like, right now, my philosophy in life is, if that thing scares me and it excites me at the same time, that is the right decision to make. And this solo trip is one example of that. I was so scared going there on my own. It's not my first time taking a flight myself. This is like the second. I have been on a flight on my own, but I've never been traveling on my own. So on the day I was on the way to that city, in the plane, and then like waiting for boarding in the plane, I was actually bawling. I was looking out the window crying. Yeah, so that's what happened. Thankfully, the sweet girl that sat beside me during the plane, she was so immersed in her book. She did not like ask me like, are you okay? But then again, I was looking out the window, so she wouldn't have known. Oh, by the way, that sweet Italian girl that I just mentioned, I actually got to speak to her. I told her like she was very pretty and she was reading a book that I really liked. Yeah, she was actually reading Al Kennedy's first book, the one with Garrett Graham, the ice hockey romance. I told her I gave 5 out of 5 stars. Then we chatted from there. So it was really nice. Then talked to each other. Then when we saw each other at the airport, we waved at each other. So it was really, really nice. So yeah, back to the conversation at hand. Like I said, that everyone has so much potential than what they give themselves credit for. And I really hope that if you're listening to this podcast, you realize your own potential and that you strive towards what you really want in life. Always believe in yourself, truly. That's what makes you that is how you get to the person you want to be. So the next lesson, like I said, doing it scared is what nurtures growth. So there were so many things that scared me during the trip, like taking the cab alone, traveling alone in a city I'm not really familiar with, like speaking up to people I don't know, making conversation with strangers, like joining events that felt intimidating, but at the same time, that's the same event where I felt comfortable before I left. Like, I went there feeling intimidated, but I left the place feeling like a whole new person, so fulfilled. I had meaningful conversations, Okay, and then at the same time, right, there were so many things that scared me, honestly. Other than that, I almost missed the flight. Then there was the day I came back, I was really excited to come home, actually, but there were unforeseen circumstances that happened way beyond my control. So I had to like stay back in a different state, in a different city because of bad weather. So I did not actually go home on that same day. And then at that same day, they told us that, okay, there's no plane flying right now. The weather is very bad, so we have to like switch it to the next day. So yeah, and that during that situation, I was really scared. Like, oh no, what am I gonna do? I expected to go home, but I did not expect to stay in the city and not go home a day. Um, you know? So, yeah, and that was how I met a stranger and we became friends afterwards. Like, so we were together throughout the whole fiasco thing. We went to have McDonald's together, then we chatted, like, and then the next day we almost missed the flight together. It was hilarious. Then we were like running across the airport, and then this friend, I guess, he was carrying my luggage. It was quite an experience in itself. So yeah, other than that, being in a city, I'm surrounded by people, but I am alone, right? Because I'm on my own. So although I'm alone, I realize I might be alone. I am alone, but I'm not lonely because I have myself. So on my first day, when I reached there, I bought myself flowers. I bought myself red flowers. I walked around the place with sunglasses, with confidence. I tied my hair up in a way that I don't usually do, and it was at that moment I knew that I am my fullest I have ever been. And this is only the first day on my trip, and this is proof of it. So I may be on my own, but I'm not alone. I am home no matter where I go because I have me at the end of the day. And I have me throughout the entire thing. Good or bad, I have myself. So I'm always home no matter where I am. Next thing is, people are not as intimidating as you thought them to be, and everyone is waiting to be your friend. So this, oh my gosh, like, when you don't know people, you judge them by their appearances, and that's true. That's really true, and people are not as intimidating as you thought them to be. Everyone wants to be your friend. Some are even waiting to be your friend. Like, when I was at the events, right? And I actually went to a board game as well. And then we quickly became friends after. Not just the board game, but the events that I went as well. So there were two girls in front of me that kept looking back. It's like they wanted to speak, and then they were unsure if they should speak. Then I kind of said like hi, and then from there we have like a full-blown conversation. After that we exchanged our Instagram, so it was really nice. Then I spoke to the guys beside me. The girl that made a speech, she actually sat beside me as well. So I really had a great time. Like, at first when I entered the place, somewhere I was late, Like, when you're late, everyone is there. The moment you open the door, everyone will look at you like, girl, you're late. But obviously no one said that because, yeah. And then I took a seat, and then, like, throughout the end of the event, we got to chat. It was a nice time. So yeah, it's something that I really want to do again. Like, before I went to that event, I was so scared. I was scared shitless. Oh my gosh. Like, I was already late. Okay, and then I was so nervous. Heading up the elevator. The moment I opened the door, I was very nervous as well. Oh my gosh. But it was so worth it. I'm so glad I came. I'm so glad that I did not let my doubts like hold me back from coming to the event. And I'm so glad I made conversation with people. I'm so glad that I did the hard part. Like, honestly, coming to the event itself is already very hard. And the fact that I got to come, show up for myself, it's just an experience. Okay. So, other than that, you truly attract the energy that you give. I was doubtful of this for a long time, but this trip has taught me something that I have never been this wrong. You truly attract the energy you give. So if you want something, be the one to extend it first. You have to give what you want to get. So another thing that I have learned is that there are so many things that are far beyond your control, like the weather, whether if your cab arrives early or not, whether if the place opens or not, like, there are just so many things that are far beyond your control. But if you can take advantage of the situation and turn it into something good, something that is a great experiences, even the worst situations become memories of a lifetime. So because of that, I made a friend throughout the entire flight issue. Yeah, like I said, we ran across flights of stairs down because we almost missed our flight. And then, like, he did mention that, oh, if I ever come back to town again, okay, let's go out and eat, So it was a great time. And not only that, I made another friend from there. So this lovely lady, she actually has children that does online tuition, and that's what I do. I teach online tuition. And then we chatted like 30 minutes about my life, her trip to Thailand. She recently came back and she's coming back to her hometown, which is the same place I'm going, which is the same town I'm in. So we chatted a lot, then we chatted some more when the flight issue happened. Then we exchanged numbers. She told me that, oh, if I ever wanted to teach tuition, I'll let you know about it. Yeah. And then, so yeah, it's a great time. Other than that, right, I felt like every penny paid for experiences is a penny well spent. Like when you spend money on experiences, they are the ones you will remember forever during this lifetime. Like, you wouldn't tell your child about what you have bought when you were young, right? Like, I bought a phone, I bought this and that, but you will tell them stories, like stories of your life. Because I'm a person who loves stories so much, I want to collect more stories that I can make for myself and stories that I can tell others. And this last lesson, is one that is very, very huge. Okay, so here it is. The last lesson is, I am always safe because I believe I am. So although I'm a girl, quite a young girl, traveling on her own, right? During that 5 days, I did not feel unsafe. I actually felt very safe the entire time. It's just because I feel like my mind played a lot to it. So I told myself that, okay, my name is this and this, and I'm not afraid. And I believe that I am safe because I want to believe that I'm safe. So that's why I'm safe. Yeah. So yeah, that is all for the lessons that I have learned on my first ever solo travel experience. I feel like I want to go to another solo travel again. I did not learn this much lessons when I was traveling with my friends or my family or just with people, Like, even when I'm at home, even when I go out for a solo date on myself to like a place, I learned a lot from that solo date itself. The fact that I'm solo traveling on my own, I learned so many lessons that I have just shared to you guys. So yeah, so before I end this podcast, I just wanted to give you a task for you to implement what you have learned today. Now, these are my lessons, and because I'm a teacher, and I love teaching. I love learning. I love sharing the lessons I've learned. I feel like it's only fair if you could implement what you have heard from today's podcast episode. So here's the thing. Give yourself a chance to do something you've always wanted to do. So something that scares you so much but excites you much more than it scares you. So hold on to that and make a goal to do that thing scared. You will thank yourself and make yourself proud for honoring what you want in this lifetime. So everyone should go on their first ever solo travel experience, and I hope that the day you come home, you are feeling very inspired, okay? You have more creativity in you, you're a wiser person. I hope you make memories of a lifetime. I hope you meet people that resonate with you. I hope you come home feeling fulfilled, okay, ready to do more of what you love and such, okay? And don't forget to plan your next solo trip, just because it gives you so much lessons, and yeah, it's just something that you should do more of, okay? And yeah, here are some affirmations before we end the podcast. So firstly, I am capable of navigating any adventure with grace and courage. Okay, you can repeat after that with me. I am capable of navigating any adventure with grace and courage. Each adventure brings me closer to understanding myself and the world. I embrace the unknown with excitement and confidence. So yeah, that is all for the podcast episode. Okay, so yeah, follow my podcast Instagram account at The Art of Radiating Love. So it's available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. So all links are available in the description. So please leave a 5-star rating, and there's the comment section, right? So tell me which lesson resonated with you the most, and share it to everyone. Screenshot, send the link, send an email, do whatever you can. Okay, so here's a reminder. Okay, put yourself first, take care of yourself, love yourself, and always radiate love. So I'm so grateful you're here. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next podcast episode. Now, before I end this podcast, I just wanted to mention that I wanted to film this podcast like 3 days ago, but I wasn't able to do that just because I was really tired from the solo trip. When I came back, I was exhausted. That's why I slept for so long. And then there were so many things to catch up on, so I did all of that. Okay, and the moment I finished all of that, I felt very fulfilled, and I want to be my best self when I record this podcast episode. So yeah, if you like it, make sure you leave a 5-star rating. Okay, leave me a comment. What do you think of the episode? And tell me what are some other videos you want to see more of. Okay? Podcast episodes. What are some other podcast episodes you want to see more of? So yeah, that is all for today's podcast. So I'll see all of you guys again in the next podcast episode. See you. Sending you love. Thanks for sticking all the way to the end.